Welcome back to the CryptoZX channel, XRP holders. Without further ado, let's examine the current state of XRP and, of course, what to anticipate on Thursday morning. What are you waiting for, people? If you haven't subscribed yet, press the red subscribe button. However, if you look at everything at once, we did observe a slight decline during the past few hours, and that is because Bitcoin also had a slight decline, which is clearly why its domination is as great as it is. It won't be very beneficial. However, let's not forget about the recent events in the cryptocurrency markets, which have seen double-digit gains and a general sense of love from the market. So it is something we don't really want to forget, but XRP is down 5.2% at $2.15 right now, down 3% from Bitcoin's comparable market capitalization of $125.5 billion and its 24-hour trading volume of roughly $4.45 billion. However, as always, before we continue, let me quickly clarify that nothing on this channel is financial advice. Always conduct your own research and due diligence. When investing in cryptocurrency, we'll begin with this TF flows. Approximately 9,820 Bitcoin were purchased, so there are clearly net in VC. However, I want you all to concentrate on meeting 23.9 million outflows on Ethereum. It just encapsulates everything we've been talking about every day if there isn't any singing or excitement. Ethereum isn't attracting as much interest. Additionally, it has that ETF, of course, but demand is still not as high. As you are aware, supremacy speaks for itself, and your Bitcoin is driving the inflows. Dominance, pretty of wraps it up. It's clearly building steam if you look at it that way. We were sitting at 64% for the domination for the first time since 2021, as we indicated in our report yesterday. Not only is it an annual high for this year, but as I mentioned earlier, it hasn't retested this level since 2021, which should really highlight how significant this is and how much momentum Bitcoin actually has. Therefore, going forward, this is really fascinating. Let's take a look at April 2024 and April 22, 2024 and April 22, 2025, Naturally, this screenshot depicts the previous year, and this is a representation of this year. What do you notice about this? You can see that Bitcoin is clearly up, but you can also see that TH is down almost half, almost more than half, or nearly half, and that Solana is also down, although not by much. What does this demonstrate to us? I am aware that many people will come out to see the reign of Bitcoin, which, once more, it is, that much is certain. Bitcoin is the market king, as I have stated thousands of times on my channel. However, this demonstrates that there was very little domination in this area. We are now nearly at 65%. Many others will also overlook it, which is something you don't want to do, but that's the reality. Thus, one could clearly observe how poorly Ethereum has done. It goes without saying that XRP has performed exceptionally well since last year, as you're aware, when it was trading between 40 and 50 cents. Since then, it has increased significantly. That serves as yet another lesson to avoid focusing solely on the short-term pricing. In reality, I would like to be looking at a long-term view. However, take note, SEC Chair Paul Atkins will be speaking on Friday at the SAC Roundtable or CRIP. Will there be any further announcements about the regulation of digital assets? Will there be any indications regarding ETFs? Once more, I believe that under his leadership, a variety of ETFs, not just XRP, will be approved. Naturally, that will be highly interesting. And have a look at this Bloomberg's curium of the first XRP ET for the talks on the usefulness of XRP. Everything is being tokenized by Ripple. And since real-world assets are the way of the future, these institutions are concentrating on tokenizing them since, of course, it alters the rules of the game and the way the financial sector operates. Even though we're just getting started, keep in mind that your boy CryptoZX has been utilizing this word since the beginning. Additionally, I've observed that a lot of people have been using the one-stop shop concept, which, to be honest, I've never seen anyone discuss in relation to the XRP ledger. It is what it is, once more. You are absolutely free to interpret it whatever you see fit. I believe that your boy CryptoZX is being heard by certain individuals. However, you can clearly see where things are actually going. But take a look at this. I find this to be one of the most thrilling things. This essentially captures the over-the-counter market that we often fail to see, which is what I've been discussing with you. According to Coinbase, sovereign wealth funds are buying Bitcoin covertly. They're thereby picking up Bitcoin over the counter or I believe that XRP and similar digital assets are also purchased by major actors over the counter, and that an over-the-counter volume is not always taken into account. And yes, that is really, really interesting. It essentially encapsulates the topics we have been talking about for the past few months. Take a look after receiving regulatory permission in the upcoming months. Ripple's hidden root acquisition will greatly increase the usefulness of XRP. As evidence of the blockchain's capacity to manage large institutional flows, Hidden Road actually intends to move its post-trade clearing onto XRPL. Absolutely incredible stuff. Having stated that, let's examine and evaluate the current state of XRP's pricing. Therefore, if you're looking at the dominance, it did increase from about 64.2% to about 64.5% in comparison to the previous several hours. As previously said, Bitcoin did momentarily go below the 23.6 mark. We did hear some positive things about the tariffs, but right before yesterday finished, Donald Trump said that taxes on Canada might be imposed once more. There is no percentage or confirmation, but it is clear that we must also account for that. However, Bitcoin is looking fantastic overall. It goes without saying that there will eventually be a slight retracement. Below the 23.6 is where we are seated. Although the 23.6 is a crucial level to be in, I do think we will return to that range. It goes without saying that the game involves some degree of retracement. In addition, if you're interested in retracement, XRP had a fantastic day. For the first time since March 27, we increased to $2.29. You see, the way the dominance is sitting so high right now, additional P is displaying a lot of strength. I believe we would have already been at the 23.6 fib zone if the dominance had not been this high. I've said it 1,000 times and I'll say it again, we must certainly keep that issue in mind at this moment. Naturally, we are aware of the amount of resistance present at the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement level within this accumulation pattern, so we shouldn't really ignore it, but thus far everything is going well, as I can see here. Please share your thoughts in the space provided here.